Hi guys, welcome back to a new video. Now today, this video is the transfer review that I said I was going to do. Rather than go through every single transfer that has happened, I thought to make the video a little bit more compact and a little bit more interesting, rather than just sit and reel off a list of names. By the time I'm finished, you'll have probably forgotten. I just want to really go through who I personally feel has had a good transfer window, who's had a bad transfer window, who could have done more. I have a little word on how I felt Reading's transfer window went as well. Then once I've done that, I will be letting you know about the videos that are coming up after this one. So going through my notes, personally, I think that Bolton Wanderers had a very good transfer window. Bolton are in a situation where a lot of their fans, understandably, feel that relegation is already been accepted. Obviously, if you've been watching my previous videos, you'll know that I still think there's a chance they can stay up. The reason I believe that is, especially with yesterday's win against Tranmere, you know, it shows that they've got fight, they've got desire. They'll go above Southend if they win their games in hand. And I think that MK Dons and Tranmere and even AFC Wimbledon, you know, they're beatable sides when Bolton play them. So I think it's going to be closer than their fans are saying. But I think as well they've brought in a few players in this window that I think are certainly going to help them and give them a little bit of strength going forward. Now, we don't know a lot about Zizou, who they've signed from Spurs, but I'm sure he will prove himself. They've got Delaney, Mellis and Byron as well. I think these are the players that, you know, Bolton fans, I think, you know, that they're just glad they've got their team still. And obviously now they've got the players in, I think, you know, it's just going to make them a lot stronger than they are. And, you know, it's no means saying that if they hadn't have had that points deduction at the start of the season, they'd certainly be there or thereabouts challenging at the end they want to. But obviously, with that being said, they are in this relegation fight. But although it looks hard, I still think there's a chance that they can do it. Now, obviously, I may get proved completely wrong, and they might go down. But I still think there's always that hope. You just never know, and we'll see what happens from there. The other side that I think had a really good transfer window is Brentford. Now, they signed Baptiste and Fosu from Oxford United, and I just think they're going to bolster their team and help them. And I think they're two really good players that they got. Also, they showed their muscle yesterday. Yesterday by tearing Hull City a new one and winning 5-1. Obviously, a lot of people say that had a lot to do with what I'll come on to, Hull City's transfer window, but you've got to give Brentford credit as well. They've been playing well all season, and that's just another result that they thoroughly deserved. And I think, you know, if Leeds and West Brom continue to drop points in any way, like they have been doing, you know, teams like Nottingham Forest, although they slipped up yesterday, you know, Brentford, Fulham, Bristol City even, they can certainly catch them. So also, I think Sheffield United are the other team that I think have had a great window. Sheffield United deserve a lot of respect, a lot of credit given to them. They've come into the Premiership and they've held their own. They find themselves in that sort of batch in between sort of Europe and top four. And can they get top four? I don't know, but then they've brought the players in and they're being consistent. Spurs have just beat Man City, which I know is quite a shock, and I did predict a 1-0. It was 2-0, so close enough. But yeah, I think that Sheffield United definitely, you know, have that opportunity to do well this season, and these players are definitely going to help them. So I think they've had a really strong window. Now, moving on to the 4 teams that I've picked that have had really bad transfer windows. The first of them is Arsenal. Now, I know that they've signed Suarez from Southampton, and I think Mari or Mapri or one of the defender like that they've signed. But that's it. And I think that this was Arsenal's opportunity to show the fans that they're backing Arteta, and said to him, look, we know where our problems are in defence, in certain parts of midfield, maybe even up front, although they've got, like I said, an Aubameyang, but a Cavani. I said about Cavani going to Man United, but I thought about it more and thought, actually, you have Aubameyang, Lacazette and Cavani up front for Arsenal. You've got a really strong front three, if I can get my teeth in order. But he never went anywhere. But the summer will be interesting to see where he goes, and if he does leave PSG. But I think Arsenal have had a disappointing window. They're still a really good side, but you saw today it was a 0-0 draw with Burnley, and they just lack that sort of cutting edge and about their play at the moment. So I think the fans would have wanted more from the transfer window. If you're an Arsenal fan, you're watching this and you disagree, please let me know in the comments. It's all good. It's only an opinion, but I just think that they could have had a better window. The second team is Chelsea. I think they've had a shocking window. They've bought no one. They've not even brought anyone in on loan. When you consider that Chelsea were under that transfer ban and they couldn't buy players and they couldn't sell players and they couldn't do anything, all of a sudden they've been given the freedom to do that, and they've chosen not to. They clearly are lacking up front. Tammy Abraham can't do it all on his own. Olivier Giroud doesn't want to be there. I honestly do believe that he'll leave in the summer. I 100% believe that. If he doesn't, I'll be surprised, because I'm surprised he didn't leave in this transfer window. I'm very surprised. I actually had a cheeky bet online that he'd go to Spurs, and the odds they were giving me were quite good, like 6-4 or something. But you have to sort of look at it and think, okay, I'm not going to get into this Chelsea team, even with the injuries. I'm not even first choice. I'm not even, on the bench. But he stayed, and he wants to play for France in the Euros. But you wonder, is he going to be match fit as good as he is? So personally, I think it was a disappointing window for Chelsea, and definitely for Giroud himself. Manchester United are the third team. I think they've had a disastrous window as well. I mean, yes, they got Bruno Fernandes in, but it took them nearly 29-30 days to get that deal done, and it even took Sporting to claim that Barcelona were interested in buying him to get Man United to pay the money they wanted. And then it turns out Barca didn't want him in the first place. So, I think he had a really good... I saw him against, not in live, but I watched him on TV against the Wolves, and he had a really good debut. I thought he played really well. But that's all, Man United got, an Ighalo. And I think, for me, the Ighalo transfer is surprising. I think the player's good, But is he Manchester United? I'm not so sure. I mean, I'll give you give him a chance, and I'm sure if he bangs in a hat-trick on his debut, everyone will be like, there you go. He will bring goals to Manchester United, but is he long-term, is he really the kind of player that you see at Man United? No, you don't. So you look to the summer. I think the summer's going to be crazy. I think there's going to be signings galore from especially the top 6 in the Premier League. And then obviously you'll have the promoted sides, they'll have all that money. And I think that everyone's going to have to strengthen. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see what happens there. But that's why Manchester United the third. The fourth and final team that I've got of having a bad window, you've probably guessed, is Hull City. If I was a Hull City supporter, I'd be devastated right now. I mean, they were looking good in the Championship. They were, doing really well. And then you go and sell two of your best players. Why? I don't get it. I mean, I understand that if the money comes in, brilliant. £20 million is a lot of money for a club like Hull City, for a player, especially of Jarrod Bowen's quality. But you've got to look at it. Have they just swapped £20 million for possibly 160? Have they let go a striker that possibly, okay, it's only possibly, could have got them into the Championship playoffs with that lottery of the chance of being in the Premier League for 20 million? But okay, maybe there's stronger teams out there, but I don't see why they've done it. And obviously they got rid of Grzycki as well, and I wouldn't have done that myself. But okay, this happens. Sometimes in January teams, they look at your players. I know a lot of people were after some of the Reading players and they never went, thankfully. But yeah, it does happen if you have a really good season or players start to attract attention and you're not as a team fulfilling. teams will come in, and obviously West Ham need goals. They proved that yesterday with their draw with Brighton. They need goals, and I believe that Gerrard will score. He will score goals for West Ham. Is he Premiership quality? Yeah, I believe he is. So I think that will definitely help them this season. But it's a massive loss for Hull, and I'm not saying their promotion hopes are over, but I certainly think that it's going to affect their season. The defeat Saturday, I don't think it's got anything to do with those two not being there. Brentford were just devastating as a team, so I wouldn't make the assumption between that. So those are the teams that I think have had a bad window. Now, talking about Reading's window, I said it would be the last thing I'd do. I was happy. I know that we only brought a couple of players in, but I did obviously done a welcome video for those two guys. They look good. Aruna definitely, I think, is going to be an interesting player, and Maziga, I think, is the other guy we've brought in. So I think they'll do well. I think they'll bring a lot to us. I'm hoping they'll play on Tuesday night against Cardiff. Obviously, I'll be doing those predictions for the midweek games next, just to get them done a little bit earlier. But yeah, I think Reading have had an okay window. I think we lost a few players, but that was good. We needed to cut down the size of the squad because there are a lot of players, obviously, on our books that we didn't play. Like Minone wasn't getting played. We let Virginia go back to Everton. His loan wasn't brilliant. He's not a player that Reading fans are going to remember. I saw him play for us in goal on the first day of the season against Sheffield Wednesday, and he worried me then as a youngster. But anyway, guys, that's this video. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. Please let your friends know about the channel. Thank you again to the new subscribers. Check out the welcome to Reading video if you'd like to, and stay tuned for the midweek predictions. Okay, and take care, guys. Thank you for watching.